Hello, everybody. My name is Jimena Magaña, and I'm going to be presenting my advocacy interview. And I interviewed Yoanna Andrade. Yoanna Andrade is the program coordinator at my internship that I'm currently in. It's called Big Brothers Big Sisters. Like I said, she's the program coordinator, and she's been employed for about 1.5 years there. And the date of this interview was April 11th at about 8:45 a.m. Just a quick introduction to her. She's very organized, very level-headed, and she's someone I have a lot of respect for because the job that she has is definitely not easy. I just kind of wanted to throw that out there to kind of give her a good head start for this interview. So regarding her roles and responsibilities, she manages 4 schools within the district. So that means every program, every match, bigs and littles, and completes case notes for every individual within the program. And her most impactful aspect within this job and this career and experience for her has been witnessing positive outcomes and visible changes within the program, and hearing that students are comfortable and happy to be there. She also manages things like their happiness, their attendance, making sure everybody's there who isn't there, being aware of why they are not there, keeping all these things in mind, keeping like notes of it. Hey, so and so hasn't showed up in 3 weeks and they haven't communicated why. Things like that she has to deal with. And she also manages every match and keeps in consistent contact with every match to see how it's going from both sides. And obviously, we are witnessing and supervising them at all times, so that is also part of our job. But a big piece of it falls onto her. So her advocacy style. So the program and the internship itself provides her procedures and policies that she has to follow when certain situations arise. But nonetheless, she always asks the student, asks the parents. Sometimes she even reaches out to faculty and teachers, just depending on, the day or who's around, or if we just happen to run into them while we're on the campus. And she also likes to ensure that the solution she provided was truly helpful. And her most impactful advocacy moment has to do with coming across a lot of low-income families within the district, and her organization, or the organization, sorry, and her efforts combined are really good at trying to solve these needs for these kids. Sometimes they ask for things like shoes, clothing items, and food, and the organization does a really good job of either guiding them towards the right direction or partnering with a local business to see what can be done, what can be made happen. Her advocacy style, based on the characteristics of advocacy, I would definitely consider her a fact finder and a good communicator, and I feel like those kind of go hand in hand. She's also a really good listener. She's very reasonable and she's really passionate, and it's really obvious that she cares a lot about these kids and their success and their future, and I think she's a really great advocate. So decision making within the internship and the program, based on all the information Yoanna provides, she has to do monthly case notes with students, which I had no idea about until this interview. It helps understand the students. It helps see where they're coming from. It also helps get any information that they might not have voiced aloud. And this data impacts decision making because the questions are specifically geared towards their needs or their wants. Anything they can really ask for there's a space for it there. And it's a way for them to express how their match is going besides what is like obvious and on the surface and what we can observe. It gives them a space to be honest there as well. And questions are specifically asked to create change or bring awareness to situations. So she switches the questions up very often. Every month is different, and they're all kind of geared to tackle a specific issue, whether that's happiness, resources, time, like anything like that. And obviously answers within these, they really are taken and truly tried to be accommodated for. And I've seen this in action already so many times in the past couple months that I've been there. So learning experiences that Yoanna and the organization provide for others, there's academic time and activities. So academic time provides time to complete homework. They can pick a worksheet out of like a binder for their designated grade level to complete if they have no homework to complete. This also gives them a time to read, and all of these activities, the completion of them, lead to what we call big bucks, and it's a form of money used for the treasure box when that comes around. Activities wise, after they're done with academic time, we do an activity every single week. They are STEM based, which I also didn't know until this interview. They're all STEM based, so it's clear that they're really making an impact when it comes to what these children are going to learn. They're very hands-on every single week, and I feel like they're skills that these kids could really take into their future and not just say like, oh, I did this. It's a lot of things that like really require their bigs to help them with, but it's also things that they wouldn't be able to do on their own. So I think it's nice to kind of have the balance of like they kind of need to lean on someone, and that's exactly what the program's about. Wide range of activities, but they are based on science, math, nature, earth, very relatable topics. And the positive impact left on learners, at least her most recent and most impactful, was we made ice cream about 2 weeks ago. And this allowed the littles to bond with their bigs on the process and the creation of their ice cream. And they got to see why the ice cream formed, because how the salt and the ice interacted. And they also obviously got to enjoy ice cream after. They did bring chocolate and sprinkles for them. So they were all like super duper excited and super hyped up. And they have constantly been asking for ice cream ever since. And I think it's really cute. But yeah, I think that one really left a good one on the kids, and on the bigs too. They really enjoyed it, and I think they enjoyed going through that experience with their littles. Now, assessment and evaluation of these learners, they're obviously constantly being supervised by me, by Yoanna, by her assistant, which is Maria. And us three are the three who go to program together, so that's who I'm constantly with all the time. Obviously, we have all of our bigs, who are the high schoolers, who are monitoring not only their own little, but if, let's say, their little doesn't show up that day, they have no problem kind of stepping in and being an observer, or kind of sliding into maybe another little who keeps running away from their big, or just can't seem to like find a seat. They're really good at just kind of like adapting to what the vibe of the day is, and just kind of filling in spots, which is really nice. The evaluations that do occur take place within the classrooms we're in. That's when we can observe the best, because they're in an element, in an enclosed element where we can watch them. And otherwise, before we get to the classroom and when we leave the classroom, we can't really evaluate, because they are technically on their own, so it's not something we can really interfere with. Conversations are constantly happening within us three specifically, and obviously our higher ups, but revolving what we saw that day, how we could improve, a different approach that we could use, and why a student may have acted a certain way. On the drives to and from program, all three of us are usually pretty talkative in what we've seen from the kids, the languages they've used, why they may have been sad, why they were super happy one day, what we think we could do to support them in any way. And we try to do this alone most times, just to not make everything a big deal. But obviously when things get to a certain issue, we obviously reach out to higher ups and kind of ask them for advice, or reach out to the administration and the teachers that are involved as well. So how my ideas line with Big Brothers Big Sisters, learning styles is what I am advocating for, and how do these affect fostering an inclusive learning environment? So all students obviously learn different, but what is nice about it is that every student does have their own big or a mentor to help them at all times. And this creates equity, because yes, everybody learns differently, and yes, everybody has reads at different paces and different levels. But with equity, everybody has the extra support, no matter how much they need it or how much they don't need it. And there is a lot of littles who kind of have a mentor there just to be their friend, because educationally they don't need a lot of help, and they're very self-motivated. They want to earn a bunch of big bucks, and they're coming up to me like 6 times during academic time to turn stuff in. And their big is literally like, I can't help her. Like she's done. She did it without me. And then there's other kids, right, who need extra help, and that's why they are there. So I think that is a good example of equity, because regardless of what is needed to succeed, people have it. They have access to it. So how does Yoanna advocate for others? So like I said earlier, she likes to try and gather the entire picture before making any assumptions or proceeding any farther. She pays attention to what students may need and communicates that with parents. This could also be administration or teachers, or even with us. She provides extra support to those who may be on the spectrum or who have ADHD. She has plans and set in place for them as well. And she also pays attention to what subjects littles may or may be struggling with in particular. And she brings in different worksheets or extra help that she can provide. And examples of these are different books, specific worksheets to cater to the specific struggle they're going through with the subject, and then communicating this with their teachers and administration as well. So my aha moment is I hadn't realized all the evaluation that was occurring within the program, monthly to daily, and how that can affect decision making. This could help them see if another big may be a better match for them, or if the student seems to be doing really well with their big. There have been countless times that we have driven to and from program, kind of like I said earlier, and talked about what the kids have done, their behaviors, why they may be acting out, and what we can do to support them on our end. In conclusion, Yoanna, Maria, and the entire organization do a really good job of creating a safe, welcoming, and learning environment for these kids. and it's super evident. We have a great group of kids, and every time I go to program, there's hardly ever a student who's really down. They're all really excited to see them. They can't wait to go to the classroom. They're like itching to go, and they're always asking what's happening for the activity that day. They're all just super excited, which is really nice and refreshing to see, because I know not every program is like that. But yeah, that is my conclusion. These are my references and my links to my assignments as well. Thank you.